All right, it's time for tie-dye. Only, not really, because we're not using any dye. We are using basically bleach, but it's reverse tie-dye. Essentially, it's a fancy way to say we're putting bleach on a shirt to pull out the color, and it's gonna look really cool. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna go over this kit a little bit. It's pretty good about telling you what to do, how to do it. If you open it up on the inside, there's different ways to tie. We're not doing any of these, we're doing something else. So I'm gonna talk about the tips on here first. Always put gloves on if you're gonna be using the color changer, which is because it's bleach, it's gonna burn. And then make sure you're doing this in a well-ventilated area. I'm in my living room. I don't know if that counts. But yeah, probably do it outside if you can. That might be the best. And I tested this earlier. Use lukewarm, warm water to mix in the little bottles. They've got this powder in it. It's color changing crystals. It's bleach. If you don't use lukewarm water, it's gonna take forever to dissolve. So warm water, shake it up, and it'll dissolve and you can use the mixture. So the first thing it says, general instructions. I'm gonna break it down. Wash the shirt first. Wash it, it takes out any chemicals that will resist any color changing. I tried that earlier too. I tried it on a dry shirt. Don't do it on a dry shirt. Do it on a damp shirt. I've already got a damp shirt right here. It's green. This says use black. We're gonna do what we want. So we have a green wet shirt. First thing we're gonna do is step one. We're gonna tie it. So how are we gonna tie it? I told you we're not doing any of these because I do what I want. So we're doing an accordion fold. Some of you are too young to know what an accordion is. So what you're gonna do is lay it out flat and blow everything off the table. Okay, lay it out flat and you're just gonna fold it, okay? And then we're gonna fold it again. You're kind of flip it. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. Can you see it? Okay, so fold, and then you can kind of roll it over and then flip it. Okay, we're gonna do that all the way up. If you have to do it, you can flip it and fold it, and then flip it and fold it, just to get used to kind of the technique. So we're gonna keep doing that all the way up. It doesn't have to be even. If you want it to be even, it can, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I always say you can't mess up tie-dye unless you use every single color and then it turns brown. I know some of you past campers have done that. Still, it's fun, but it's brown. So we won't have that today because we're not using any colors. It's just bleach. All right, so when you get to the sleeves, they're a little tricky. You just kind of have to watch them, keep them sticking out. Or you can fold them in. Do what you want. Then we're gonna fold it again. Look, I lost my place. Roll it, fold it, keep it going. All right, so the sleeves, they kind of just are there. You can fold them over into it if you want. You can leave them flinging out. I usually leave them flinging out, and I'll put rubber bands on them. So that's your fold. That's the fold I wanted to do today. You can do whatever you want. These are pretty cool. Or you can ball it up and wrap a bunch of rubber bands on it and see what happens. That's always fun too. So we're gonna put rubber bands. These are super stiff. First thing I'm gonna do is the sleeves. Just gonna put a couple bands on there. As tight as you want, as loose as you want, as long as they pretty much stay in place. Do this. Okay, see, that's too loose. We need to make that tighter. All right, so we'll do that sleeve, then we'll do the other sleeve, just to keep them in place. And keep in mind, your rubber bands, when you go to do the solution, that's where you'll have white. Anywhere there's folds or anywhere there's rubber bands, that's where it keeps the color, typically. And then, see, I did these uneven, but it doesn't. Okay, do this one. Now next, I recommend doing one end, and then towards the center so you don't lose your shape. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this end. Now I'm gonna try to keep it flat. It's gonna want to bunch up, but I'm gonna try to keep it flat so we can keep our shape. And if you don't, it doesn't matter, it's still gonna look cool. Okay, so we did one end here, and we'll do this end. I did a bleach test. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's already lighter there. So it'll be extra light later. Okay. So that one did okay. And then we're gonna work our way in. This one. Come here, buddy. We have a guest featuring Sinatra. What are you doing? Hi. Hey, good boy. He doesn't get to tie-dye because he's a dog and he doesn't have thumbs. Okay, so we're still rubber banding, trying to keep it flat. At least I think I am. Half the time I'm not paying attention. All right, uh-oh. We're running out of rubber bands. Okay, well, I think we made our point here, so we can come back. All right. See how that makes it easier to get that through? You're not fighting with all the fabric flopping around. Okay, now our collar is being a real jerk. I'm gonna flatten it out. And we're gonna loop this. All right, that's in there. Okay, so I am gonna put one more rubber band here, but I'm not gonna get up to get it yet because it's gonna be a whole thing. So just pretend there's one there. And then step 2. So that was all step 1. Folding, tying, getting it ready to go. Step 2, we're removing the color. So I would suggest mixing this up beforehand so it's nice and dissolved. I don't have this done yet, obviously. I'm just gonna show you the process of doing it. I'm not gonna do bleach right here because I don't want to ruin my beautiful tie-dye here. So you're just gonna take it and you're just gonna squeeze the saturation, squeeze the solution to get saturation on your fabric. So there's different ways you can do it. You can go in between the rubber bands. You can go right at the rubber bands. So if you want a fun little burst here, or if you want to bleach out this whole section. So it's really up to you. Do whatever you want. So you're just gonna do this side. I recommend maybe in a sink or the tub would be good. This says to do like plastic wrap and paper towels and all that stuff. You can probably just do it in the tub. It'll be fine. So we're gonna put the solution on there. And then once that's done, I suggest flipping it over. Make sure you have your gloves on. Look, I forgot. We got our gloves. I don't know where my other one went. It's somewhere in here. Ah, got it. These are the weirdest gloves. Looks like a clown. Okay, so pretend like we did this first. So we're gonna do the other side. Put it on there, however you feel like doing. Okay, so that's done. And then step 3, we're not gonna do yet because it's remove the ties. We don't wanna do that. What you're gonna do is let it sit. You can either leave it in the tub or wherever you did the bleach. You can put it in a plastic bag, wrap it up, and let it incubate. Whatever you want to do. You can check on it, which we're going to do in a little bit after I get the bleach on there. So we'll be back and we'll check it and see if it's ready, and then we'll go from there. So we are back. We have bleached. You can kind of see, it's hard to tell because I went a little crazy and did the whole thing. So we are looking at step 3. It says to remove the rubber bands. And then step 4 says rinse. I suggest rinsing first. Do just a good rinse, squeeze it out really good, and then we'll take the ties off, and then you can do a second rinse and then wash it. So we're gonna take off the rubber bands. I'm gonna use scissors because it's way easier. Adult supervision, if I hadn't said that yet, through the whole process. Make sure you don't cut yourself or the fabric. This just makes it way easier. Do this with gloves on. It's a pain in the butt. All right. Sinatra is playing with his bed. That's not how you sit on beds, buddy. That's not how beds work. All right, still taking them off. I may have done too much bleach, and it's just gonna be completely bleached out. We'll see. I don't know. Please be careful doing this. I have poked myself in this process. I don't know how many times. I don't usually have gloves on when I do it. Trying to be a good example. Okay, look, and see, I almost cut the fabric there, so you gotta be extra careful. This part bleached it earlier is gonna be super, like, bleached. Okay, almost. Then we're gonna get to the fun part, and we can see what it looks like, kind of, before you wash it. Because it's wet, it's gonna look darker. And then when you wash it and dry it, you'll be able to see what it actually looks like. So, rubber bands are off. Still be very careful because there's still bleach in this. So let's see what we got here. Probably not gonna be very exciting to reveal because it's wet and squishy. But yeah, we got something. I think it's gonna look good once we wash it and dry it. So we're gonna give it another rinse. You're just gonna rinse it in warm water, squeeze it out really good, then wash it in cold. I don't think it specifies on here. I suggest washing in cold and just throw it in the dryer. So we'll be back when we do that. So, shirt's done. It's a little subtle, but that's okay. It still looks really cool. What I did was I probably used too much bleach. I just wanted to get it on there, so it saturated a lot. And then I left it on about 30 minutes. Probably should have left it on longer. I'm really impatient. I just wanted to see what it was gonna look like. So it still looks really cool. Like I said, 30 minutes. You can check it as you go. You can wait for it, watch it, see what it does. And then once you're happy with the lightness of it or whatever, you can rinse it out like I said. Towards the bottom you can see where I had tested it initially, how much lighter that got. So that just shows you that if you wait, be patient, unlike me, and you'll get a lighter color. So this is the shirt. Back. But yeah, you can see the stripes that we did. I think it's pretty cool, and hopefully you do too, and hopefully you get one maybe a little bit better than the one I made, but that's okay. It's still fun. So that's it. I hope you guys have a ton of fun making your new shirts, and the coolest thing about this is my hands are clean. Happy camping at home, guys. Bye.